back on the Morning Brew. It's a busy day here this morning. It's
Big day
great.
here.
It's great. So we were just talking about Jane Fonda's ranch. So you're a mortgage guy, Greg. So if her ranch is $19.5 million, how would you figure out the interest rate on that? And how would you also, what would a monthly payment be on like a $20 million home? That is the most expensive home in New Mexico.
New Mexico, yeah. It'd be somewhere between $35,000, $37,000
a month.
A month.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, well, it's a lot of money.
That's right.
It's close to $20 million.
Right, right. And would that be like a 60, like a...
Yeah, 30-year
30-year
financing,
fix?
it'd be about 4.5%, 5% interest.
Wow. And but that's really what anybody's paying right now, right? It's about 4.5%.
No, we're still at 3 7/8. We'll talk about that later.
Well, why would it be so different between...
A jumbo loan is not a mainstream loan, so you have private investors come in.
Oh, how do you get a jumbo? What's the cutoff for a jumbo loan?
Well, there is no cutoff.
Okay.
With various investors. There are some investors who specialize in jumbo financing, and that's where you'd go. You go to a J.P. Morgan Chase, somebody like that.
Clearly, I know nothing about this.
Well, good. Then you won't know if I give you a right answer or a wrong answer.
Right. Someday I hope to learn all about jumbo loans.
You don't want to know. Oh, yeah. Well, it'd be nice to need to know about
That's
jumbo
what I mean.
loans. There
That's
you go.
exactly
There
what
you
I
go.
mean. Yeah. But there's some interesting stuff going on in the mortgage world these days, right?
Yes.
We were talking earlier about there's some of the I guess you guys are in the business are being hit with some fines and penalties. Not your office specifically, but there's been some folks being hit with fines and penalties because of the new disclosure regulations.
Right. There's several new regulations that have been proposed and are being implemented. The one that we're looking at right now is these marketing services agreements. You know, typically when you go buy a piece of property, the realtor will refer you to a mortgage lender, and the realtors refer you to their favorite mortgage lender, the person that they've had good luck with, they've had good experiences with. However, there are a lot of things behind the scenes that most consumers don't know about, and one of those is a marketing services agreement. And several lenders here in town and nationally have marketing services agreement with real estate companies where they pay the real estate company marketing dollars to market to their sales force,
So it's
and to co-market advertising money, etc., in the hopes of getting referrals.
Right.
Okay, and the CFPB,
the Feds.
Consumer Finance Protection Bureau,
the Feds.
the Feds, on this Dodd-Frank regulation, which we've all heard of, are saying now, after these things have been blessed for years since the 90s, are starting to fine people for inappropriate behavior within these marketing services agreements. So Wells Fargo and Prospect Mortgage, two of the largest mortgage lenders in the country, have just announced that they're not going to do them anymore. They're going to wind them down.
Wow. Does that, when we think about Albuquerque, when we think about New Mexico, is this something we need to be worried about? Are these the kinds of things that we need to...
Well, I don't think we need to be worried about them. I think you're going to see them go away. There's several lenders in town who have marketing services agreements with builders and with real estate companies, and I think they're going to have second thoughts about it if the big boys are pulling out. And then what the big boys typically do, and we all sell a lot of mortgages to Wells Fargo. Well, Wells Fargo may say, as a continuation of this thought process, also, we're not going to buy loans from you if you're
having one of these agreements.
Having one of those agreements, because we might have trailing liability. The big issue is this: the Consumer Finance Protection Bureau seems to be managing by penalty and fine rather than by clearly written regulations and clearly enforced guidelines. And I think the industry can pretty much tolerate anything. We can adjust to just about anything. It's important that we understand just exactly where they're coming from before they lay a $150,000 fine on us.
Right.
Okay, and those are the kind of fines that have been levied.
Wow.
They're significant.
And that could put a small business like you out of business.
Oh, it wouldn't quite put us out of business, but it sure take most of the tortillas off the table.
So one of the interesting things too this week is second quarter real estate sales. They were up a lot, right?
Significant. You got it there, yeah.
Yeah, it's April, May, June.
Correct, and up over last year with 17%.
That sounds like is that a huge spike?
That's a big spike, but you have to put it all in context. Last year wasn't a very good year, so but it's good.
Right.
17.69%, something like that, is a fantastic jump. What I'm concerned about, however, and you were noting this in reading through the notes, is that listing inventory, the number of houses listed for sale, is less than last year at this time.
Right.
So that means that the pool of houses for sale, which entice people to continue buying at accelerated levels,
Right.
has actually gone down.
Right.
And that suggests that the hot
So-
summer buying season is over, waning.
Is this a good time or a bad time to put your house on the market then?
There's-
Wait till next spring, if you can?
I would say if there's fewer houses on the market, there's
Right.
less competition, this would be a good time to put your house on
Especially
the
if you
market.
got kind of a dog-eared little house.
Well, the dog-eared little houses aren't selling right now. As we talked about, the folks out there buying want all the toys,
they want
all
everything.
the bells and whistles. Yeah.
That's it. Great. Well, we'll be back in a couple of seconds. We're going to be talking to our friends here from the YPA about their next event.
Great.
That should be great fun.
Yeah.
On the Morning Brew with Friends.